Y'all, it's Anita. Welcome back to Screen Time Love, where the tea is always fresh and the playlist is always curated. Today we're diving into a wild mix of headlines. It's such a trail mix of drama, you guys. We have raisins, M&Ms, peanuts, Chex Mix. I mean, muddy buddies, literally muddy buddies in this story. Tory Lanez doing time that he probably didn't deserve and got stabbed 14 times. Some Diddy and Cassie juice. Literally, people getting peed on, people getting peed in, apartments getting peed in, cars being blown up. And then we have Chris Brown, who just got arrested in Manchester. So many things, you guys. It's just a trail mix of drama. And I want to start off with the United Healthcare Department. Department of Justice is investigating whether they've been overbilling Medicare by exaggerating how sick their patients are. United Healthcare is finessing the Department of Justice, and they are now investigating whether they've been overbilling Medicare patients and exaggerating how sick their patients are so they can get some extra money. This isn't just like a light audit, like you missed a couple of cents or made your Starbucks an expense when it shouldn't have been. This is some gnarly shit. And I think this goes along with the whole Ouija guy that shot the CEO. I'm sure there's so much more to that story that we have not uncovered, but this is a full criminal probe. We're talking billions of dollars, millions of vulnerable people affected and taken advantage of. It's giving corporate greed meets healthcare hustle. And while United Health is like, we didn't know we were under investigation, the receipts might say otherwise. Stay tuned. We'll definitely be circling back to this because I know there is so much more to that story. And although it might not be interesting to some of you, it is to me because I work at a healthcare insurance provider, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes that we don't know about. It's just like politics or the music industry, just like anything else. So we will come back to that when we find out more information. Okay, Tory Lanez, that poor little man, that Mr. Tory Lanez. I just found out his name's Tory Peterson. But anyway, Meg Stallion shooting case where she dragged him through the mud. She made him basically go through so many things over the last couple of years, and all the drama and just everything that he went through, and everyone kind of gave him shit for it because she convinced everybody that he shot her. And there's some stuff that has just recently surfaced, and he's been wrongfully imprisoned, allegedly. He was recently stabbed in prison 14 times, and he was on life support, and he just recently got off life support. So now they're going to take a look at this other information that they received, and even though it seems like it could have been avoided altogether, it could have been, according to the statement that was made yesterday by Tory's lawyer. He was saying that there was DNA on the gun that wasn't Tory's, but they didn't check anybody else's fingerprints or DNA. They just went with what they thought was right, and that Tory was the one who got tested. So of course, if the DNA on there has Tory's DNA, but what about the other DNA on there? They didn't test anybody else. So we did hear yesterday that it was Kelsey Harrison's bodyguard, or Kelsey had shot him yesterday at that press conference, that it was Kelsey who shot. Allegedly, Kelsey had told somebody's bodyguard that happened. And so they said that they didn't want to keep it in very much longer. They just didn't feel like it was right. They didn't have, the ethical capacity to just let him sit in there and rot in jail for something he didn't do. But I think that has a lot to do with him almost dying from being stabbed by some Mexican mafioso guy. So here's the situation. I wanted to know what the fuck was going on. So I found out that the guy that stabbed Tory Lanez is Mexican, and I guess there was this thing. They have visiting hours, and I guess his wife was visiting, and he was being a little bit too flirtatious with the guy's wife, and then there was like some kind of altercation afterwards, and pretty much Tory Lanez was like trolling him, like, you're just mad because your wife likes black guys. And so the guy that ended up stabbing him, he actually has been in jail for a minute, and he's been in jail for stabbing people like it's a normal thing, like brushing his teeth. So basically, yeah, that's very dangerous, a dangerous game to play. But that all could have been avoided if he didn't get wrongfully put in there. So at the end of the day, it's just Megan's fault. I don't know, man. I'd be so mad if I was him. I would be so fucking upset. I'm not even kidding. Tory's lawyers are pushing for a closer look at whether his sentencing followed the law properly. Some folks are calling it a mishap, but like, let's be honest, like, Tory Lanez can come back and sue the motherfucking government and get money. So let's just hope for that, because I think that he deserves it for sure. You know, and this Diddy and Cassie trial, it does sound exhausting. It sounds like we're saying the same thing over and over again, and I feel like it's a little redundant, right? Because a lot of people are saying that Cassie is coming out and these text messages, and, you know, she's hurt and emotional, and she feels like it's, so people are saying that this is a Cassie case, basically, like it's about their breakup and their relationship. But look, guys, we're still in the very fucking beginning parts of the situation here. Like, we don't even know what this is going to lead into. This is the beginning. So I mean, though it may sound like it's about Cassie and Cassie's like emotions and how she felt and her trauma and everything else, that's fine, but there's more to this story. So you guys just hold on, sit tight. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more than the Cassie situation. But while we are talking about the Cassie situation, she has some text messages that they're all going through right now. They're reading through messages, years of messages between her and Diddy, and it's such a toxic relationship, man. Like, damn, girl, you are one of us. Like, you're that girl that like breaks up with her man, blocks him, and then the next day she's like cooking him dinner, you know, they're best friends again, and then he does some shit, and then she gets mad and she comes back. It's just like, it's one of those things. But she did it for 10 years. I guess in the text messages, basically, I mean, it's just saying, you know, that she's a drug problem and that she needs to get it taken care of, and that there was a point where, you know, his suppliers were like, don't give her any more drugs, and then they cut her off, and then he found out that she was doing drugs behind his back, and then he beat her. There was pictures of her bruised lip and her bruised back. I guess she was telling her mother that it was the first time, and, you know, she lied to her about it, and ended up going back to see Diddy and lied to her mom about it. There's a lot going on. I think in 2018 is when she started dating Kid Cudi, but she was dating Kid Cudi while her and P. Diddy were broken up. But I guess P. Diddy had found out about Kid Cudi, and he wanted to blow up his car. I mean, he is a jealous. It's like having all these toys that you want to play with and you can play with at any given moment, but when that toy wants to play with another kid, you're like, you know, fuck you. You know, it's like, it's messed up. I mean, Cassie should have been able to have as many homies as she wanted to. I'm sure Diddy had his fair share of girlfriends, and I mean, he did. He had Gina Hunn, and he had Kim Porter, who he was still very much dating and hanging out with and loving on and buying shit for. So I mean, he had Kim Porter, he had Gina Hunn, he had his fair share. She was like such a sweet young girl too. I mean, that's what I look at when I say, yeah, she might have had a drug problem, but I mean, she wasn't a fucking abuser. She didn't kill anybody. She didn't blow up anybody's car. So I guess she ended up blowing up Kid Cudi's car. He had found out about Kid Cudi, and then they had a meeting between the three of them, because Cassie says she was still doing freak offs with P. Diddy even during the whole Kid Cudi situation, which is kind of beyond me. But still having freak offs, they were still doing their thing, and so they had, I guess at some point, had a meeting between Kid Cudi, P. Diddy, and Cassie. And you know, at the end of the meeting, like, Kid Cudi's like, what's up with my car? You know, what about that? And he's like, what car? And that was like the end of the meeting. And I get it, like, Puff Daddy is like a boss. He's a mafia boss. He's like, the only answer to any questions is the answer that I'm going to give them. Like, it doesn't matter if he's wrong, if he's right. Whatever P. Diddy wants, P. Diddy gets. And that's really scary, especially being in a relationship with him, because you're never going to get what you want, ever. Even if it's something that he wants and he knows you want, he's probably not going to want to do it. Like, just because he doesn't want to give you the satisfaction of the power of having the power over something, you know? Still up in the air, like, where the fuck is Young Miami at? But let's get back to Young Miami. She's definitely somewhere out there. She's definitely an accomplice to his baby oil chronicles. At one point, they were calling her the baby oil queen, you know? She's out there like, like, oh my God, come shut. No, bitch, like, you need to get back up in that jail cell with your boyfriend and figure shit out, because there's a lot I'm sure that she is definitely involved, heavily involved in when it comes to that case. But we're always going to have something to talk about when it comes to this Diddy case, because this is just the beginning. And I just read recently, it was like a brief, it was for heavily bodily harm to somebody, but I don't know any of that story yet, but that's still unfolding. Also, you know, I love music, motherfuckers, and there's so many albums that dropped. I am listening to all these albums on my way to work, and there's just not enough time in the day. Black's Ted just dropped an album. It was a 4-track EP called Unreleased. Smooth, romantic. It's perfect for late night rides or like just listening to with your boo. And then there's that Snoop Dogg had teamed up with Dogg Pound. It's a real West Coast family reunion. Like, and he has Lil Russell on there, which is dope. It's a Baby, Blacks, and it's just old school meets new school energy. And I feel like I needed this album to kind of redeem the album that I thought the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg album was going to be. It was great. Don't get me wrong, but I think when I was listening to it, or when I started to listen to it, I expected to hear like na 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 na, you know, like the old school like gangster rap vibe. But I have to remember that these motherfuckers are not hungry anymore. They're not rapping to make, you know, the next fucking album. They're rapping to just rap and continue living the lavish lifestyle that they do. So, but this album with Snoop Dogg, and it's so dope because he's like putting his wife up on game in this album. Like, he's like thanking her for the support and all that. And I think it's time, you know, she's a boss lady. She put up with a lot of shit, I'm sure, over the years, and she's still rocking with them hard as fuck. And now she's doing her own thing. She's such an inspiration. I think that, you know, they have definitely grown together as a unit, and that's the dream, you know, that's the goal, man. But the one with the Russell is definitely good. I love the old school lowrider beat. Everything about that is just, that's it for me. And then the Blacks album was really short. It was only 4 tracks long, and it was all good. It was like, I love Blacks. He just puts you in like a vibe of like just relaxation, you want to be in love again kind of thing. Kingmaker comes out tonight, which I'm very excited about. I feel like they were blowing up this record like a motherfucker. Like, I'm talking about every day I heard something new about Kingmaker, and I know people that have been working on it. So shout out to Big Duke. He's on a few of those. Actually, Big Duke is on the Snoop album too. He produced a couple songs on the Snoop album, but he definitely worked with Exhibit on Kingmaker, and I know a couple other people that did as well. And I know Tiny Do was working with Exhibit, and I'm actually going to interview Dago Fats this weekend, and he is heavily fucking with Exhibit right now, and they're doing some songs. I think he's even on a song on the Kingmaker, which is actually perfect because I'm going to ask him about it when I see him. There's so many things happening, so much music is dropping, and it's just too much to really take in. So now that I have these moments on my lunch break, I think I'm just going to take these moments to catch y'all up on what I see, just in case you guys want to see it too. But yeah, I gotta go. I'm actually late. Like, go fucking figure. I'm always late. But you guys, thank you for joining me. I will see you either tomorrow or Friday. No, wait, tomorrow is Friday, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I have a few more. Actually, I have new content that's dropping. I have the Drew Heffa episode. I have Eastside K-Boy, which has yet been finished. I gave it to a camera guy the day that it was filmed by the same camera guy, and I've yet to receive it back. So I'm just starting to learn the industry and turnarounds for these episodes. It's like, if I'm going to talk about a current situation, I got to make sure like it's still relevant 3 months later, because that's when I'm going to get the goddamn footage. You know what I mean? You guys, thank you so much for fucking with me again. I appreciate it. It's crazy to even see like the views and shit, and like even people messaging me like, when's the next episode coming out? Oh my god, I can't believe we talked about that. That's hilarious. Good shit. I like to see your side. Any of that shit is like mind-blowing to me. I'm still very new, and so I thank you guys. I appreciate all the love, all the reposts, anything that you guys do for me. I am 100% appreciative of it. You can never get enough support, and I've been really lucky thus far. So you guys, that's it for today. I'll see you soon. You guys have a good weekend. If you're at the Wonderfront, I will be seeing you there. Bye.